Hey everyone, welcome to the Active Towns channel. My name is John Simmerman, and today I am in Austin, Texas to catch the very first Kidical Mass here in the city. All right, swing the camera around so you all can see that. We've got Urban Arrow in the house here. Yay! The local Urban Arrow folks, as well as lots of other folks tabling and doing some cool stuff. So we're gonna be doing some interviews of folks and also catching the ride around the community here. We are in the Mueller Community, pronounced Miller or Mueller. It's spelled Mueller. And it is a wonderful bike-friendly community, and we're gonna have a blast out here. So let's go say hi to some folks. Oh wait, we gotta check this out. All right. And off they go. And this is really all about the celebration of bikes, the celebration of kids, and helping make our communities safer and more inviting for kids to be able to ride bikes. Very cool stuff. All right, and first up, we've got Austin Youth Fitness.
Hey, yeah, so I'm Reed with Austin Youth Fitness. So we are a kids biking and running program. So we basically try to help and support kids in all outdoor activities and show them, you know, what's possible with their own bodies and the movement of play. So all of our programs are play-based. So that kind of just means that we're helping kids to just basically like get to explore the world around through play. And it's honestly a pretty amazing program. You know, I've come from elementary school teaching and teaching music. And you know, a lot of stuff like that, it's very structured. And with this, we get to take kids out and be out in parks, be out in nature. And it's kind of just amazing. Like I've never been in a space where I get to see kids just like building courage and building resilience in a way that is just, it's phenomenal, honestly. Like
actually be kids.
Yeah, actually be kids, which is so cool. And learn how to do hard things. So we do that through our biking and through our running programs. So our running programs are basically, they're called Fit and Fun, and so it's about games and movement and learning how to use their bodies in, you know, productive ways and just learning that they can be lifelong athletes. And then our other program is our biking program. It's called Cycle the City. And so we have camps like all over Austin, after school programs where we'll start at a school and then we'll meet up at a park and then we'll bike around all over as a big group and we'll meet back at the park. And then we also have our summer programs with the Cycle the City where we meet at Peace Park. And at Peace Park, from there, we basically take the kids on all of the trail network of Austin, which is so cool because like these kids are doing up to 5 to maybe 14 miles in a day. And so it's just something that I think kids at first don't realize that they're capable of doing. But we give them the opportunity to take that and just, you know, go out there and explore their own city and, you know, kind of just gain the confidence and realize that like they have autonomy over the world around them and that they can use bikes as a means of transportation and as a means of fitness.
Talk a little bit about the event that we're at today.
Okay, So we're at Kidical Mass right now, which is this really awesome event, which is basically just, it's pro transportation for children. And it's you know, it's pro transportation for everyone. You know, something that I think that's really important is like this event is kind of highlighting that when you build spaces and build communities that are for everyone and that you have transportation that's not just a car, that it's so much more fulfilling for a community that you can just kind of, you get to meet people around you, you get to talk to others and connect in a way that you normally don't get to. And so that's kind of what Kidical Mass seems like all about to me, you know, is building this confidence that we should build safer streets and safer cities.
Love it, love it. Well, thank you so much for being here and helping support this event.
Thanks so much.
Real quickly, I know you guys just had Coach Sam Balto out, Coach Balto, for a bike bus. Real quickly, talk a little bit about that experience.
So we partnered with Sam Balto and we partnered with Womb. Kind of one of our things just going back to all about being pro public transportation and pro cycling is we wanted we want to start implementing in schools around Austin the ability to be like, you have the opportunity to take over the streets to yourself and take them over for your communities. And so we got to partner with Sam, which was amazing. You know, his movement in Portland has been kind of, it was awe-striking when we first saw it here in Austin. We were like, that's so cool because we have the resources and the spaces to do that here. So why don't we do that? And so it was an awesome project, and we're really happy. And now that was at Brentwood Elementary, and it's going strong right now. We're still in contact with them, and we're hoping in this next year that we're going to start a couple more. So yeah.
Great. Again, Reed, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yay. Yeah.
All right. Hey there. Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. So we are at the very first Kidical Mass, and you are the Yellow Bike Project. What the heck is the Yellow Bike Project?
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit, an Austin-based nonprofit, and a community bike shop. And the main thing that we do is we provide free bicycles to people with no access to transportation.
Right.
We also provide bicycles at affordable prices for people who can still pay a little bit and still want to have like a really, really cool bike.
Yeah.
And then we also teach people bike mechanics.
Nice. Now, why are you here? Why were you so passionate about this event?
Yeah, this is a really wonderful event which was initiated by one of our partners, Parents for Climate Change. And so we are very honored to be invited here as a partner because we want to support all the efforts that are for cycling advocacy and especially that are targeted at the youngest generation.
Yeah.
So, you know, they are the future.
Fantastic. And how can people support Yellow Bike?
Yeah, I mean, you can volunteer, so you can donate your time, you can donate money, so we can keep building more free bicycles for people who need them, and you can donate bikes and parts.
Fantastic, yeah, so I've got an unused bike. I can bring you an unused bike.
Definitely, definitely. If we cannot fix it, we'll just disassemble and recycle it.
All right, Jose, how's it going, buddy? Good.
Helping people here.
Fantastic. I'm going to put a mic on you real quick.
All right.
I don't want to delay you because you're trying to repair this, but real quickly, you guys are helping promote this event, and you reached out to me, so thank you so much for reaching out.
Thanks for coming. Yeah,
yes.
I appreciate you being here and just enjoying this massive community event we're trying to put together.
Yes, fantastic. All right, I'll let you get back to work.
Thanks.
Okay.
Hi guys, I'm DJ. I'm with the Active Middle School Communities Project from UT Health. We're here at Marshall Middle School for Kidical Mass, trying to get some folks from the Marshall area to participate in our project. If you live in Austin and you'd love to participate, we're looking for your feedback about what parts of your environment facilitate and hinder active living. So please reach out.
Fantastic. Thanks, DJ.
Thank you, John. Thank
you.
All
right.
And ride! Yeah, you can certainly reach out. Did you meet? Yes. We are gathering people together to tell you the couple of things that we need to tell you before we head out. We are so glad that you are here with us today. Thank you so much to our first Kidical Mass for coming and joining us. This is Eileen. She is our representative from the Parents Climate Community who really came to me with the idea to have the Kidical Mass coming out of Marshall. All right, y'all, so welcome to Austin's first ever Kidical Mass ride, and thank you for helping us make history. Hi, I'm Eileen McGinnis, founder of the Parents Climate Community. 6 months ago, I had this notion to bring a bike ride to Austin that would center kids' mobility and climate rights. And thanks to the amazing bike community we have here in Austin, and to riders like you for showing up, that kernel of an idea is now a reality. I don't have time to shout out and thank all of our community partners because I know we're ready to ride. But I do want to give a special shout out to our co-organizers, Ghisallo Cycling Initiative and Yellow Bike Project, and again to Bobby and the administration at Marshall Middle School for hosting us in this beautiful space. So, yeah, go Marshall. So if this is
is your first time on a group ride, and I'll say I've never been on a ride this size before, so I'm excited. I hope you have so much fun. Riding bikes is fun, and that might be stating the obvious, but I think it's important to notice that sometimes the things we do for our health, for our community's health, for our planet's health, and they could actually be more fun than the alternatives. And riding bikes together gives such a powerful sense of community. One thing to keep in mind though, as we're riding today, is that we're not riding alone here in Austin. We're riding as part of an international community. Over the next few weeks, there are Kidical Mass rides happening in Spain, Portugal, Italy, Germany, the UK, Canada, Greece, just to name a few places. And like us, they're riding for fun and for connection. But they're also riding to reclaim space on our streets for young cyclists and families, for people of all ages and abilities to get around their cities safely on bikes. And like us, they're riding to spark the imaginations of the people we encounter along the way, to show them a different vision of what coming together across generations and sharing our streets for clean air and climate action might look like. Before we get started on this ride, it is my pleasure to turn over the mic to a longtime champion of both climate and youth rights, who's also riding alongside us, both literally and metaphorically. I'm honored to introduce U.S. Congressman Lloyd Doggett.
How wonderful to see so many people here today. This is an event that really combines my love of cycling and my concern about climate. And the kind of organization that Eileen and the other members of this parents group have organized are precisely what we need. I am big on biking. I must say not as much as other members of my family, because about 6:30 this morning, my wife and daughter set off for LaGrange for the multiple sclerosis MS 150. They're into cycling a little more. And I'm also pleased to be here at General Marshall. General Marshall was my personal friend for many years. He was an amazing photographer, a community supporter, and just a great human being. And it's wonderful that this campus is named for him. He's also the only person I've ever met whose first name was really General Marshall. So today is an important event that, as so many bad things are happening in Washington, particularly on climate, where words like climate and resilience and woman are taken out of all of the dialogue up there as bad words, we need to keep the concern for climate alive with events just like this. And it has to be focused on our children, because they are the ones that will inherit the mess that we're creating by not addressing the climate crisis, which is so very real. A long time ago, I was the captain of the safety patrol over at Brackerwoods Elementary, and now I'm concerned that the dangers in not addressing the climate crisis are every bit as real as a speeding car through a school zone. They will have a tremendously negative effect. We know that on a day like this, where we've already had all these 90-degree days in April, that summer is increasingly extending from April well into November. And there are things that we can do, and when the federal government won't do them and when it's retreating, it's all the more important that, as Martin has done over in Windsor Park with his t-shirts and shade, thank you Martin, he formed the first climate crisis committee within his neighborhood association at Windsor Park. It is now out evangelizing. It's gotten climate committees at a number of other neighborhood groups. We had a great Echo Fest last year, and when is the next one coming up, Martin?
First Saturday of November.
Okay, well,
we're going to give away a whole bunch of trees.
No, that's right. There were plenty of trees passed out just a few blocks north of here, and it'll be a good time to do it again. We'll be almost over summer by then, I hope, in November. But that's part of addressing and adapting to the increasing heat we have. Someone who cares about this and about cycling as much as I do, and who does a great job under very adverse circumstances as our state senator, is Sarah Eckhart. Sarah, would you just come in a little bit? I can tell you that Sarah, I see at so many community events, and even when she's all dressed up for the community event, she will have cycled in from home. She is a regular cyclist. You want to add just a word or two before we cycle off?
Just to say, I am so happy to see y'all all so fat. And this is what I mean by fat. You're focused, you're taking action all together. So that's awesome. Stay focused, take action all together. Get big and fat, look big. We're gonna need you. So thank you so much for looking so awesomely fat.
Eileen, I'm going to turn it back over to you as we go cycle. There are a number of people I invited to come out today because I wanted people from as far away as Allendale and all this area to know about what you were doing, hopefully to join up in the Parents Climate Community because you reach all across the county. And so I'm going to do the cycling, but as I promised in the message I sent out to a number of you, we'll come back to visit if you have any individual concerns. Next Saturday at this time down at First Methodist Church, we're having a town hall to talk about all of the challenges and as the first 100 days of this administration comes to a close. And I'm doing another town hall at the Unitarian Church a week from Monday morning, targeted at retirees. So if you're interested in discussing all of the other tragedies that are ongoing, I would welcome hearing from you. But today is about hope and joy that we can do things locally to make a difference in the great struggle against climate crisis. Thank you, Eileen.
Yeah. 250 riders. Woo!
Too much fun.
Too much fun.
I'm good. I'm just hoping you can join us on one of the community rides. ride. Yeah.
Right turn, rolling, right turn. Watch the carbs. Stay to the right. Stay right. Right turn. Right turn. Hey, how's it going, guys?
My name is Eileen McGinnis, and I'm the founder and chair of the Parents Climate Community. So we started in 2019 as just a meetup group. I, as a mom, was kind of freaking out about climate change and what it meant for my son. And so I wanted to see, is there anyone else out there kind of thinking the same thing and having the same worries at 2 a.m.? So that's how we started. We're now a 501c3 nonprofit. And our goal is really to make climate action accessible for families to do together. We tend to focus on local climate action and trying to make it work for families at times of day and in ways that they can manage.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about what happened today. What did happen today? It's almost mind-boggling what happened today.
So we put on, with the help of partners, Ghisallo and Yellow Bike, Austin's first ever Kidical Mass bike ride. Kidical Mass is an international movement. It started in Portland. There have been rides happening around the world. And we had about 200 families, kids, supporters come on out and ride around the streets of Mueller. And they were riding for kids' mobility rights, so that there are shared streets. They're riding for climate action. They're riding for clean air for kids and for fun, for fun and community.
Yeah, that's great. And really, the whole point of doing groups like this and events like this is to really mobilize the community and sort of shift the awareness that, kids' mobility and freedom and active mobility is something that, they should be able to do every day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that, along the way to addressing, making sure they're breathing clean air and that we're lowering our emissions, it's empowering for kids to be able to get places on their bikes, right? It's about their independence, it's about their confidence, their health, their ability to focus in school. So there's all of that is wrapped up in the package.
Yeah. Now, this was the first, as you mentioned, very successful. Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
What's next? Are we going to have more of these?
We are definitely going to do this annually. I feel like the signs have pointed to let's do this again. But we're also kind of hoping along the way to think a little bit about what are some smaller rides we can do, some other ways we can connect the community with advocacy around active transportation. So stay tuned.
And we just recently had Coach Sam Balto with the bike bus, the international movement of bike bus in town, and that was another type of event and or an activity. I mean, for his school, they do it every Wednesday is Bike Bus Day, and it seems like that would be something that would be really wonderful to start to see in Austin. Is based on the neighborhood, based on the school, being able to see parents and kids being able to really lean into and embrace that, being able to get to school that way.
That's right. I think there was recently one at Brentwood Elementary, and Austin Youth Fitness, who is one of our partners today, is trying to make that happen. So I agree. I think that could be another potential way to kind of spark imaginations for parents about what they can actually do and get going in their school communities.
What's great too, and Austin is fantastic with this, and hopefully this is going to be inspiration for other cities as well, is there is just this wonderful network of nonprofit organizations. Safe Streets Austin is also here today.
That's right.
They're inspired. I was just talking with Diego just a moment ago, and he's inspired by what happened today. I really am quite confident and really quite encouraged that this is just the beginning.
Yes. That was sort of the idea too, is like we do have this amazing, robust bike community and active transportation community in Austin. Let's come together. Let's bring people together. Let's get ideas, spark our imaginations for what else might be possible.
Yeah. Ultimately, change is difficult, and sometimes our community members, our neighbors, resist when changes start happening to neighborhoods. We just had a bike lane that sort of went south in District 8, and so a situation where I think that if we can have events and activities like bike buses and like Kidical Mass, we might be able to kind of reframe the narrative and get more people like saying, no, this is what we want. We want safer options for mobility. It's not anti-car, it's about pro-choice of mobility options.
Exactly. I think that's why it's so important to get kids and families front and center in the conversation, because that's something that everybody can agree on, right? That sort of like love-based, kind of imaginative, playful vibe, that energy that you saw today that kids bring into the conversation. If we start there, I think that's how change is going to happen.
Fantastic. How can people, especially those in here in Austin, how can they learn about your organization?
Sure, they can head to the Parents Climate Community parenceclimatecommunity.org. We're also on Instagram, Parents Climate Community. So yeah, you can find us on Instagram and online.
Fantastic. Eileen McGinnis, congratulations on this very first Kidical Mass. Right up here. Boom!
Thanks
Great
so
job.
much. Take care. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Derek Hansen from Ghisallo Cycling Initiative, and I lead our team here in Austin. We have teams in San Antonio, Austin, helping kids learn how to ride, keeping kids and adults safe on the road, and also working with elderly populations, adaptive populations, and getting everyone out here today for Kidical Mass.
Nice, nice. And you led the ride.
I was one of the leaders, it was a great privilege.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just one of many organizers. We, Ghisallo, were one of many organizers on this event.
Yeah.
We're just proud to be here and supporting everyone.
Fantastic. It was so powerful to see so many members of the community come out and so many kids come out. You know, debrief on that. You know, what were your observations about what we saw today?
Sorry, just saying bye to our friends. Yeah, observations about what we saw today. Everyone was like really safe and patient.
Yeah.
And that's so important. If we could teach anything, patience, I think, is so important today. Yeah. Not just for our cyclists that were out there, but for the motorists that we encountered. Most of the motorists were friendly and saw what was going on, read the room, and said, hey, this is a beautiful group of kids and adults riding together safely on the road. We're just going to take a moment and chill and not rush to where we're trying to go.
Right.
Same with us on the road with the cyclists. We were taking our time, making sure that everyone had a chance to catch up, catch a breath, drink some water, feel safe, feel included. We had all kinds of ages, all kinds of abilities. We had kids on balance bikes. We had kids that would ride part of the route and then hop on their parents' e-bike and finish the ride together. So we really want to make sure that everyone felt included.
Speak to the fact, especially for other cities that are wanting to do something like this. Talk a little bit about how you all came together as like a sort of a cadre of organizations and nonprofits to make this happen and come together.
Yeah, so the Parents Climate Action Group, they were the main driver to get this going because they had seen it happen in other cities. So again, the hopeful impact of this event is, number one, repeating it in our city,
right?
Expanding it, doing it at other sites around the city, but then having that inspiration for other groups to see that this is something we want to try in the same way that we tried it. So they got the ball rolling. They reached out to us. We got other groups involved, Get Their ATXs on board supporting us. So we had city support. And this becomes a test run for us because we're trying to bring back the Ciclovia to Austin. And it's been, about, I can't even remember how many years since we did it on 6th Street. And we haven't confirmed it yet for this year, but we are working diligently to bring that back to Austin and to host it in this area. So we'll keep everyone posted on that.
And of course, Ciclovia is an open streets event where a street, or a network of streets are shut down to motor vehicle traffic, and people are able to, reclaim the streets. Streets are for people, and so they're able to do that. I like to say on the channel that these types of events, the Ciclovias, the open streets, the Kidical Masses, even bike buses, are all about trying to reframe what our streets are for and really kind of reinforcing and hopefully bolstering the community support for more active mobility infrastructure and more active mobility programs. Talk a little bit about that. How do you really see, your organization and the other organizations here in Austin being able to help keep that momentum rolling?
Yes. I'll start by talking about where we are right now and the work that's been done, the pre-work that was done to design Mueller, this community. You see it all playing out now in how people act and respond to different users of the space. The space is laid out with really favoring, or at least balancing, I would say balancing the different uses that we see, and giving strong support to cyclists and pedestrians in a way that you don't see in you don't see as much in other parts of the city.
Right.
You don't see as consistently in other parts of the city because it was designed this way. So it means that like we're not retrofitting turns or stops or building in bike lanes and dealing with friction around introducing that infrastructure. The infrastructure was built in from the beginning, and then the people were moved in. So they kind of knew what they were buying into, or at least they adopted it as they moved in and realized, okay, this is how things operate here. And so you kind of have to assimilate to this way of being. So I feel like when I step into, or I drive into, or I walk or bike into the Mueller Community, I do feel different from other parts of the city because they have created that atmosphere that favors it provides a more favorable balance to the different users. And it says, yes, these streets are not just for motorists, these are for cyclists and for walkers. And also here is an alternate path parallel to the street that you can take where cyclists and walkers and runners all feel safe, and dog walkers. And at the same time, slowing traffic down so that even if you are a motorist and you feel like you have right of way, you don't have a highway right of way.
Yeah.
You know? So
it's safer and more inviting for everybody.
It is, and it just sets that tone. The analogy I shared with somebody, so I did a semester in Argentina, study abroad, and Buenos Aires is crazy. It's crazy city, and it still is, I'm sure. But definitely back in like 2001, you step on the street and it's like you're taking your life in your hands.
Yeah.
It might be a protected sidewalk or a crosswalk, I mean, and there's no certainty that there's ever going to be a car stopping for you. You cross the Rio Plata over to Montevideo in Uruguay. You're in Uruguay, and like it's like you've entered another universe, and it's like shocking. You step off the sidewalk and cars like stop like 100 yards away, like, and they're just waving you across, or they'll see you nearby and they'll say, oh, do you want to cross? Please cross. Like, you're just like, where am I? What happened? So, I mean, the distinction isn't as, extreme here, but I do have that feeling when I'm in a place where the design favors cyclists and pedestrians and provides an equal playing field so that more people do go out and do those things.
Right. Yeah, it's good stuff. And
I don't know.
it reinforces, the design of the community is reinforcing the behavior, the fact that we do have mobility options, and hopefully, as community in the communities where that isn't in place, but we're trying to build new facilities and new infrastructure, hopefully the community support will be there. And I know that that's one of the things that your organization is trying to help support other organizations as well as the city in trying to make sure that, we can have that transformation of the built environment and get safer options for those communities as well.
Sure. I mean, we've seen recently here and around the country and also in Canada where there has been an effort to remove infrastructure. Right. There's been, in some cases, I think a vocal minority, in the sense of like they're causing enough ripple, making a big enough stink to undo millions of dollars of work and incur additional costs in the process. And that's happened, we've seen it happen in Southwest Austin just recently. It's sad. We've done work down there, and there is an effort currently to remove bike lanes and safe routes to school. And we gotta prevent that from happening in the future. So everything we can do, us working together with the city to make sure that neighborhoods are on board, and that the folks that are not on board still feel heard.
Right.
And the city's doing a good job of that, but we got to keep improving, and we're trying to do that as well as the stewards, the cyclists, and the ones that are leading these rides. We're not trying to create conflict with motorists, but we are trying to create a more balanced environment.
Yeah, well said. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks a lot.
And thank you so much for supporting this effort and making Kidical Mass happen, and to you and your team for leading the bike ride today.
You bet, our pleasure.
You made my day, you made my year. That was awesome. I hope you all had fun. But we're not done yet. We're here for another hour. So come up and have some food, have some refreshments. Go tell your bike story back there to Val. Come out and talk to some more people and just enjoy yourself. At 11:30, we will have our raffle. We do have some other prizes and stuff that we'll be giving out as well. So be sure to mingle, have fun, enjoy your day.
We also have Council Member Zoe Kadri coming, so if y'all want to gather just for a minute, he's going to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Councilmember Zoe Kadri. I represent District 9 of the Austin City Council, which is where we are right now. I'm also a neighbor. I live right down the street from Marshall. I'm so sad I missed the bike ride this morning, but from everything I've heard, it was a success, and it just hardens. It's so heartening to see so many folks just being smart when it comes to mobility. We have a state government and a federal government that doesn't believe in climate change, and seeing folks, riding their bikes this morning is just the coolest thing in the world. And we're, as a city council, are really investing in different modes of transportation, whether it be riding your bike or taking the bus or taking light rail. And I think that's how we really fight climate change. I think good climate policy is also good mobility policy. So I'm just really excited to be here today. I'll come by and say hi to anyone who wants to say hi back. But thanks for having me this morning.
Talk a little bit about this event that we're at here, Kidical Mass. It's the first time that Austin has really hosted it at this level.
Yeah.
How important is it that this is happening here in Austin, in your district, and how we can leverage this energy for the future?
Yeah. I'm so blown away by how many folks are here. I was talking to Congressman Doggett earlier. He said there was about 250 folks on their bikes, not only in my district but in my neighborhood. So I actually walked here. I think it's really important. I think I said it, really briefly. I don't know who was able to hear because there's so much noise happening. But we're living in a time where both our federal and state government aren't doing their job, and I think it's really important for us at the local level to make sure that we really invest in all different types of transit, but also make sure that transit is safe, and that includes folks on their bikes. And one big thing that always comes up in our district, as I represent downtown, but central Austin, is the need for more bike lanes, but also making sure that those bike lanes are properly being used. I think the biggest complaint, the biggest flag we get is when cars or trucks or people are unloading and they park in a bike lane. I mean, that's a safety issue for oncoming traffic, but also for the bicyclists. So I think this is really important, and I also think getting more people out of cars onto bikes, onto trains, onto buses is better for the environment. So it's a win-win.
One of the things that I talk about a lot on the Active Towns channel is the need for communities to really come together like this and be able to communicate to city leaders that this really is something that they want, because you guys end up hearing the negative side. You get to hear the complaints and the anger and the hatred of people that feel like it's quote unquote a war on cars. And so
never understood that
and so
concept.
it's really important, I think, for events like this to take place, and I'm sure it makes your job a little bit easier as a council member when you know and you hear from community members en masse that this is very much valued and wanted.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I think it's really heartening. Like, it warms my heart to see everything that we kind of work for and we talk about in effect. The folks that we work with often at City Hall. I don't know if someone's waving at me. The folks that we often work with at City Hall, like being here, that work with us on policies and just, I don't know. I mean, I think you're right. I think there's this, I don't know if it's a misconception or if there's just at times maybe bad faith actors. I don't believe there's a war on cars. Look how many cars are out there. I think there is a real concern on folks' safety when they're, whether they be on foot or when they be on bike. And I think we just need to continue. Like, it's great that we talk about it during mobility committee meeting. It's great that we talk about it as we're looking at Project Connect and I-35 expansion, making sure that's as safe and good as it can be. But it's great to talk the talk, but it's really important to kind of walk the walk and put forward policy. And like I said, what's really inspiring for me and what makes me feel good is just seeing all these people out here.
Now, you mentioned the challenges at the federal level, at the state level. There's an awful lot of power that we, the people, have at the local level. And I think that's part of the necessity and the reason to try to really grow our tent and really emphasize that it's not a war on cars. What we're really fighting for is mobility options and to decrease the amount of car dependence.
We're fighting for safety, right? I think it's like common sense, and it's like I don't want, I want to live in a world where, if I have a kid, I would want my kid to have the option to, I hope one day light rail comes through this neighborhood, right? Yeah. To take the light rail to the university, right? I want my kid to have an option to get on the bus and take it to downtown, or I want my kid to have the option to ride their bike. Yeah. And also when they are riding their bike, that fear isn't there of, are they going to be safe? Are they going to come home, safe and sound? There's the thing that happens at City Hall once a year called Austin Ghost Ride Bike. I'm butchering the name. Yeah. But hearing a lot of the stories, it really breaks your heart. And it's like we need to, like us being inactive, us not putting forward good policy, like too many lives are on the line.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about this community, because this is your home. This is your community here. Not only is it your district, but it's also your actual neighborhood and community. This, I don't know how much you appreciate the fact that this is one of the absolute best models in North America of a community that's been built from the ground up with tenets of good urbanism and active mobility, really inspired by the Dutch Cycling Embassy and building protected bike lanes, connecting all ages and abilities to meaningful destinations. Talk a little bit about how special it is living here.
Oh, it's so special. I mean, I was a candidate when I first really, I've come into the neighborhood, gone to the HEB, gone to Alamo Draft House, I've come to the farmer's market. But when I was running for office, and honestly, I think it's people that always make the neighborhood what it is.
Right.
So meeting the people in the neighborhood, but also being able to, walk around and see all the different types of housing and seeing folks on their bikes and all the, different things, tricycles. It really cemented, win, lose, or draw, that I really want to live here one day. Right. And having the opportunity to live here, it's so beautiful and it's so great. And I really want to see more Millers, or Muellers, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of pop up not only throughout this city, but throughout the country.
Yeah. Now, we're seeing a lot of kids out here participating. This was about getting kids mobilized and activated, and the parents. Talk a little bit about childhood independence and how living in a community like this, for your children as they get, how old are your children?
I don't have any kids yet.
Oh, no kids yet. But if you do, you have future children, that ability to have that childhood independence and be able to be like free-range kids and be able to get to meaningful destinations on their own
it's so important. I mean, I was at home and my wife was craving Torchy's, so I walked over to Torchy's. But on my walk there was these group of kids on bikes. And it was like a kid gang of bikes. And they rode past me, and I guess they were going to Torchy's because I eventually saw them at Torchy's. And then I waited for my order and I ate something really quick, and then on my way back, they rode back again. So it's just, people should always practice safety. People should always be vigilant. But there is that level of safety that folks have in this neighborhood. And I think being able to, go from home and kind of go around as a child, I think it's a really important tool, whether they live in Austin for the rest of their life or they go elsewhere. The level of independence is extremely important.
Yeah, love it.
Great.
Any final thoughts you'd like to leave the audience with?
I'm really excited to be here. There were so many things this morning, from a ribbon cutting at Austin Rowing Club to Eeyores. So I did not get a chance to ride my bike this year, but hopefully next year I'll join the congressman for a bike ride.
Fantastic.
Great.
Again, thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Colleen Gentles with the City of Austin Safe Routes to School program. Our program within the city has about 200 crossing guards. We have an education team that goes into the classrooms and teaches walking and biking safely through grades 3 through 5. We have an engagement team, and we also have infrastructure, which is what I head up. So we're building crosswalks, sidewalks, curb ramps, bike lanes all around schools, helping to encourage kids to walk and bike to school safely.
Fantastic. And tell us about this event.
So we are tabling at this event today. We've had a lot of kids and parents come by. We're passing out retro reflective stickers, bookmarks, slap bracelets, you name it here, and bike and safety tips as well. So we're encouraging kids to walk and bike to school, and we're helping you get there with information. And if the parents want stickers, they can have them too.
Fantastic. Yeah, what an encouraging thing to see so many people out for a Kidical Mass.
Yes, for sure. This is the first time this event is happening, and it's been a huge success. The weather held out for us, not too hot, not too cold, and it's been great to be a part of this event.
And what a wonderful location to have it at. Marshall Middle School has protected bike lanes, getting kiddos right to school. This is pretty special.
Yeah, for sure. The school opened a couple years ago. Safe Routes to School helped install school zone beacons on Tilley Street and East 51st Street, as well as Zach Scott. We got in some RRFBs, rectangular rapid flashing beacons as well. We've gotten the bike lanes. We've got crosswalks. Yeah, we're definitely trying to help kids get to school safely from Mueller, as well as the Windsor Park neighborhood just north.
One of the things that I love about this particular location too is it's almost like safe routes everywhere, because the network is in place. If the kids want to go to the skate park or wherever else, they're able to do it in this neighborhood. Talk a little bit about that, because it's more than just about getting kids to school. It's about getting people, kids and all ages and abilities to be able to get everywhere.
Yes, for sure. So it's not just about getting to school safely. It's about connecting to your neighborhood and your community, the grocery stores, the churches, the parks, wherever you want to go, the community centers with the pools. And we like to say in Safe Routes to School that if you're helping the most vulnerable users, the kids, get to and from school safely, you're benefiting the whole community as a whole.
Fantastic. Well done. Yay!
Thank you.
Boom. All right. A friendly face from Safe Streets Austin.
Hello.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Diego Martinez Moncada, and I'm the Executive Director of Safe Streets Austin. Today we are at Marshall Middle School here in Mueller. We're here for Kidical Mass. It's a gathering of parents and kids and community members to go on a large ride, take over the street, and show people that cycling is a very real and active way of getting around, and just spreading awareness so that drivers know that they need to be watching out for cyclists on the road.
And how cool is this? I mean, this is amazing to see so many people out. I mean, Safe Streets Austin is really all about, mobilizing the community to try to advocate for safer streets.
100%.
What better way than getting parents and kids and everybody, all ages and abilities involved? Talk a little bit about this as a strategic, this is like the first one, but it doesn't mean it has to be the last.
Yeah, well, as it being the first one and being as successful as it is with this turnout right now, it just means that there's more growth to be had and more awareness to be spread. And I think when you are able to engage people and get them out in a fun event, it just kind of, if they weren't already an advocate, it makes them an advocate because they get to experience it firsthand and see how amazing cycling is. I mean, it's hard to argue against cycling once you've actually gotten to experience it. And in terms of strategy, you're just making it a community event. It's becoming entrenched in the community. And when it's something that people rely on and other people see, they slowly start to get more and more involved. And especially if it continues to happen year after year, it just becomes a tradition and something that people want to be engaged in.
In our previous interview, you talked a little bit about working with other strategic partners and other nonprofits and other organizations. That's exactly what has happened here with this.
That's exactly what has happened. Yeah, in fact, I was just having a conversation with Aura, and we were just talking about other things that we're working on, and this provided the perfect opportunity for us to be next to each other and have that talk. Whereas, like during the work week, we're incredibly busy and our schedules don't always align. And here, we're out here outside enjoying a good day and spending time with community.
Fantastic. Any final thoughts? Anything new and exciting for Safe Streets?
New and exciting for Safe Streets. Safe Streets is getting more and more engaged in everything that's going on. We're getting involved in everything from Campo to the Congress Urban Design Initiative. And we have our own initiative of City Leap going on as well. That's getting a study, and we're working with the city staff to continue to progress that. And hopefully have something here soon within the next couple quarters.
Fantastic. SafeStreetsAustin.org. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Cool.
I'm Bobby Sandoval. I'm a teacher at General Marshall Middle School.
This was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. I'm so excited.
Bobby, tell us why you're excited.
I'm excited because it really brings my heart joy to see people out enjoying their bicycles and getting around town and having fun. The smiles on bicycle they feed me.
Yeah, it was amazing. So this is your school. This is my
school.
This is Marshall, General Marshall Middle School. And what a great location to host this.
Yes, it is.
And be the very first Kidical Mass in Austin, Texas. You're beaming.
I am. I'm like, I feel so lucky to be here and to have the whole community here, really, and just getting people out for a common interest. It's so awesome.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that experience. What was it like? Did you get like chicken skin goosebumps rolling through the community with that huge group?
I just a smile. I think I was smiling the whole time. My cheeks hurt from smiling so much.
Yeah.
Seeing the itty bitties down to the big people, and and just riding through the streets, the cars stopping and waving and noticing, and just really starting to get ourselves out there to be active about active transportation, to be active about climate change, and and really just connecting across the community. I think riding bikes just does so much wonderful stuff for people.
Right. And these events are wonderful to help, sort of reframe the thought process as to what is possible. You and I were together at the very first day of school here at Marshall Middle School to document the kids walking and biking to school. Talk a little bit about how events like this can put even more oomph and more energy behind being able to get kids to be able to walk and bike to school every day.
I think, so our numbers are growing. This is our second year open, and our numbers are growing with students coming in different ways. And we're also doing a school pool where, we can have different kids pull in one car. So anytime you get active transportation, sustainable transportation, it's doing something good for the earth.
Yep.
But in addition, we really, the more active kids are when they come into school, the more ready they are to learn, the more their blood has flowed through their bodies, and they're ready to listen and do all the things that they need to do at school. And it just helps in so many ways. And then riding, it gives them confidence that they also use in their classrooms and with class discussions. It's just so much. And we're dealing with, the COVID kids that are coming up through school now, and they missed out on some really foundational skills that you learn in elementary school. And now with the biking, I feel like it's helping to learn better, faster.
Yeah. One of the things that I also try to re-emphasize on the channel a lot is that when the kids are developing that self-confidence and self-efficacy of being able to get to school under their own power, it starts to give them that sense that they can have that independence to be able to get to other locations, like the wonderful park just right down the road there.
I do a bike club, and I try every year at the end of the year to do a self-sustained field trip. So I think that gives our kids a bunch of pride too. And so this year we will have our first one. And we have no buses that they're used to getting when they go on field trips, and we're gonna bring our own lunches, and they're gonna pedal their whole way out and their whole way back. And it's amazing to see them glowing when they're sweating and hot and sticky, and they're like, that was so cool. It's just, it is an awesome sight to see.
Fantastic. Any final thoughts?
I hope your folks get out and ride their bikes, and maybe they'll join us for next year.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Karina, aka Swinky Bell.
Yay! Well, what just happened?
Amazing and very amazing bike ride with all the kids and their parents and the community getting together, and yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, and you helped lead it. You were out front within your costume and everything.
Trying to show everyone.
What inspired you to be here today?
Well, I'm an active social rider, and we do the Kidical Mass in Austin that meets up on the pedestrian bridge.
Okay.
And seeing through social media that other cities and places have Kidical Mass, I'm like, there needs to be a Kidical Mass, and so now there's one, and I'm like, well, we've got to promote it. If we're doing bike rides and trying to get people out and enjoy their time on the bikes, like, might as well come when they're young and share the experience. So yeah, that's great.
It's a natural link if you're involved with Kidical Mass to be involved with Kidical Mass. My video that I released yesterday was my interview with Supreme Odada Mitchell from Nairobi, Kenya. She has led the Kidical Mass there in Nairobi for the last decade. Fun. And she talks about the power of getting kids out and the Kidical Mass. So this was our first that we've had here in Austin.
Yeah,
what did you think?
Amazing. I thought it was amazing. I wish there was more people out there. I wanted to do another loop around, but it was great. It almost brought tears to my eyes. Super, super fantastic. Love watching the kids' excitement, and it's always fun seeing the people on the sidewalks and streets just what's going on, or waving at a parade of bikes. So more costumes.
More costumes too. Talk a little bit about the social rides that you're involved with.
Yeah, so I ride with Social Cycling Austin. We have the Thursday Night Social Ride, which has been going on for about 15 years, I think.
Okay.
There's other bike rides groups that have different tastes and different days that they go. So,
what's the easiest way for folks to be able to follow and engage and get involved?
Yeah, well, there's also, social media. There's, good old Facebook. So we've got the Social Cycling Austin on Facebook. We also have the Instagram account. There's Social Cycling Austin Instagram. We also have Kidical Mass ATX Instagram to do that. That rides every last Friday of the month, which was last night.
Okay.
So yeah, social media. If you come out on a Thursday, just meet us at the under the bridge on 35 across from is it the Holiday Inn. We're always there every Thursday, rain or shine.
Great.
So find us or to look for somebody that's got a costume on, and that might be me.
Thank you so much, Karina.
No, thank you.
The Bicycle Advisory Council.
Hello. So my name is Alejandro de la Vega.
Okay.
I'm Drake Hampton. Hello.
What the heck is that?
The Bicycle Advisory Council. So we are a group of citizens that get the unique privilege of meeting with city staff once a month and basically talk to them about what they're working on and how we feel about it, especially with regards to bicycle infrastructure.
Fantastic. You're here at this wonderful Kidical Mass. Just share a little bit about this experience. What did you guys think?
It was really cool. I brought my 2 kids out who are 2 and 4, and the 4-year-old rode his own bike, and my wife rode the 2-year-old in our cargo bike, and I don't know, it's a fun event, and it's cool to see so many kids out riding, and I feel like I was surprised by how intuitive, I was worried about the group ride dynamics with little kids and new riders, but they just kind of get it, and everyone's kind of moving as one, and I don't know, just kids naturally know how to ride bikes, it seems like. It's really cool.
Yeah, good stuff. Obviously, events like this are wonderful to try to sort of counter the negative resistance and bike-lash that takes place. Speak a little bit to how you think the city can have more of these to try to help bolster that community awareness of building active mobility networks can really help support a shift in mobility options.
So yeah, I mean, that's honestly what's been so exciting about this event is like part of what we're trying to do here by being here is like make it more common for people of different stages in their life to get involved with cycling advisory and advocacy. And I think that's what needs to happen. It needs to be a grassroots thing. So people need to feel like this is something that they can benefit from in order to, when they see projects come in, identify with them. And so I think this is exactly the kind of event that I hope would start happening on a regular basis,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Final words.
Totally agree. It was an awesome event. We should definitely have more of these.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Let's close some city streets down on a regular basis. That's what I think. Let's do a bunch of ciclovias.
My name is Zach Faddis, and I'm the president of Aura. Aura is an all-volunteer, democratically run nonprofit that focuses on land use and transportation policy.
Fantastic.
The basic spiel is that Austin is becoming an increasingly expensive place, and that is primarily because we have made it illegal to build enough homes for the number of people that want to live in Austin. If we want to become, in order to become a more affordable, more welcoming city, when a home is replaced, it should be legal and easy to replace it with multiple smaller homes, a duplex, fourplex, multifamily housing, cheaper forms of housing. We make that incredibly difficult. Instead, it's almost always replaced by a larger, more expensive version of a single-family home. It's a little less true than it used to be because Austin has, for the last 2 years, I think has quickly become a national leader on land use reform, and that's the land use side, but we're here for Kidical Mass. And so on the transportation side, as we become a denser, more affordable, more welcoming city, we have to invest in non-car forms of transportation because cars are an incredibly inefficient way to move many people through a small area. So better bike lanes, better sidewalks, better mass transit, more mixed-use development so that you can have a grocery store, a coffee shop, a bookstore in your neighborhood so that you can meet your daily needs, you can get to work without having to drive an inordinate amount of distance. The 2 biggest costs to most families are first housing and second transportation. By allowing us to build housing around transportation, we can drastically reduce both of those costs.
Yeah. So it's a natural fit. It's land use and mobility, active transportation.
They are 2 sides of the same coin. the very low density development pattern of large homes only makes sense with a car-based transportation system. And on the same hand, if you want to have the kind of walkable communities that we see and go on vacation in other places and love to visit and think that those can only happen there, those can only happen there because they have a different transportation system. It's a transportation system that enables more livable communities.
That's great. So how can folks here in the Austin area learn more about Aura?
So you can go to auraatx.org is our website. From there, I would either join our newsletter if you want to just receive information from us about what's going on in our city, new bike lane projects, new initiatives at City Hall, stuff's going on at the Ledge right now that's quite important. Some housing bills, some people trying to kill Project Connect that definitely need support. To oppose, I should say. If you want to connect with other urbanists, you can go to auraatx.org/Discord to join our Discord. And that is the main place where we organize. It is just a regular forum for you to chat with other urbanists, and it's also where we organize. And so if you're actually interested in doing the work or just in connecting and joining a community of people that care about these same issues, that's the main place I would steer you towards.
Great. Thank you so much, Zach.
Yeah.
Hey there, Josh Rudow. I'm a brand ambassador for Urban Arrow Bicycles.
Fantastic. Just say a few words about Urban Arrow. Why are you so passionate about Urban Arrow?
Yeah, so I became a brand ambassador just because I just started out. We had an older version. We just loved it so much that it became a part of our everyday life.
Yeah.
We ride every day to school. I go to work on the bike often. We put well over just about 15,000 miles on both of our Urban Arrows. Long rides with kids, shorter rides with kids, but it's just really changed our family's life.
Fantastic. And we're here at our very first Kidical Mass in Austin. You guys had your tent up and everything. How special was this? Because this is also your neighborhood.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I just love all these memories of kids.
Yeah.
Getting a chance to be on the road and really having more space on the road and just feeling like the road is theirs as opposed to the road being for cars. So this is already a great neighborhood, lots of cycling trails all over the place, lots of separated bike lanes, but really a great feeling for them to see what it's like where bikes could be in the road and where cars had to wait for us. So a lot of smiles, a lot of core memories hopefully formed with kids riding bikes. So I loved it.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about the power of a cargo bike like an Urban Arrow to really help people, maybe live a little bit more car light and not feel like, every trip has to be a car.
Yeah, we had 2 cars, sold one. So now we have one car. My wife drives it. It is helpful to have the one car, but for us, I could go months at a time without being in the car.
Yeah.
We do grocery pickups in it. It is really, as you can see, we have a shade cover on it. This is me biking all the stuff to my house.
Right. Yeah.
But there's a shade cover. There's a rain cover. You can pretty much take it absolutely anywhere.
Yeah.
It's got a Bosch motor on it there. Good amount of torque.
Yeah.
Good battery life as well. So long rides. You can get to almost anywhere in Austin on creeks or in quiet neighborhoods. So we can take Boggy Creek down to the hike and bike trail and get to Barton Springs, get to the library, get really all over the place. So I've gotten lumber, helped friends move in this, mulch, plants, just about everything. And it also kind of makes the journey just about as much fun as the destination. So it is the center of our family's life every weekend.
Yeah.
The car just sits most of the time and we get to use this. So I tell people oftentimes this saves easily $5,000 to $10,000 a year.
Right.
And not having another car, that part of it's amazing. Not having the insurance, just the liability of another vehicle, dealing with all of that, the headspace that another car takes up. But more than anything else, it just creates incredibly fun adventures.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad that you focused in on the fact that you're carrying cargo, because a lot of times people think of this as just a family bike, and it's like, oh wait, that's right, we can actually use this for our errands and, as you mentioned, lumber and mulch and whatever else.
Yeah. There's just a ton of stuff in here. So there's a seat right there in the front, a seat in the back. We used to put our dog in there all the time too.
Yeah.
A lot of different ways of doing it. And I love the Urban Arrow. There's tons of other different types of bikes out there. This one really it's the Urban Arrow family, but we really are in the golden age of cargo bikes.
Yeah.
So just a ton of stuff you can do with it. We have our grocery store right there, and we just go bring the bike up, curbside, they drop everything in, easy to find parking. Yeah, it has so many uses, and it just kind of becomes this game that you play about how can I use my urban era, my cargo bike for everything, as opposed to getting in a car, which just feels like an absolute chore.
Yeah.
Be in traffic, increase blood pressure, and your mindset changes where you kind of think, oh, I need this space. Whereas in the bike, you're just a part of the space.
Yeah. And I noticed, with your little ones, they were just riding around here just a moment ago and all that. They're getting to the point where they are a little bit more independent. They don't necessarily need to be in the cargo bike as much as they were probably in their earlier years. And so it's the fact that it has that utilitarian purpose as well is super helpful. If they do get over, super tired or whatever, you can toss the bike in there or the scooter in there, and the kid can go in as well. So there's a great deal of flexibility. But living in a community like this, where, as you mentioned earlier, it is safer and more inviting for all ages and abilities, they're going to have a lot of childhood independence, which is really cool to see here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. We've. They're Woom bikes. We can often put the Woom bikes in there. We also have a special trailer on the back that we can put them on. So
nice.
Instead of going on a ride that is all based on how much they can handle, they can get off maybe on flatter spaces. It just means that we can go as far as this bike goes, and they can get out and ride when they want to. So it really helps you kind of ease into more of that bike independence. And they just think this is how you get around. They just think this is how everything should always be. So that's great.
I love it. Josh, thank you so much.
Of course, yeah.
Hey, thank you all so much for tuning in to this very special extended cut of the very first Kidical Mass in Austin, Texas. And a special thank you going out to everyone involved with pulling this together, especially Eileen with the Parents Climate Community. It really was very, very special to see this come together, and really so many other nonprofits and organization groups, as well as the city of Austin in attendance, including, have to give a shout out to our U.S. Representative Lloyd Doggett, as well as Sarah Eckhart, State Senator, as well as District 9 City Council Member Zoe Kadri. As was mentioned multiple times in this video, it is incredibly important for community members in cities around the globe to come together with a unity of voice. Again, this is not a war on cars as much as a battle to try to reduce car dependency and give mobility options. Also, as was mentioned in the video, events like Kidical Mass, Open Streets, as well as initiatives like bike buses help to reframe what our streets are for, and hopefully bolster support for changes to the built environment to become more safe and inviting for all ages and abilities, enhancing mobility choice for everyone. And again, if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and share it with a friend. And if you haven't done so already, be honored to have you subscribe to the channel. Just click on that subscription button down below and ring that notification bell. And if you're enjoying this content here on the Active Towns channel, please consider supporting my efforts by becoming an Active Towns ambassador. Super easy to do. Just click on the join button down below to become an Active Towns YouTube member, or head on over to activetowns.org. Click on the support tab at the top of the page, and there's several different options, including becoming a Patreon member. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, this is John signing off by wishing you much activity, health, and happiness. Cheers. And again, huge shout out to all my Active Towns ambassadors supporting the channel financially through YouTube Super Thanks, YouTube memberships, Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, as well as making donations to the nonprofit. Hey, every little bit adds up and is very much appreciated. Again, thank you all so much.